Preventing illness and disease is always better than treating it, and there are multiple ways to address this. One of the fundamental decisions you'll need to make is whether or not to vaccinate your chicks. Some hatcheries will give you a choice, while some will automatically vaccinate. Others will not even offer vaccinations. I'm going to mention a couple of diseases here that might be unfamiliar to you. I'll explain these in great detail in other videos. So, on the idea of vaccinations, I believe they should be used sparingly. That said, I do have all of my chicks vaccinated for Merrick's. I consider this good stewardship of their health and will continue to request Merrick's vaccinations. However, I prefer to not vaccinate my chicks for coccidiosis. Here are my reasons. Some people believe the vaccination can cause illness or result in the chick's growth to be stunted. There are several strains of cocci, and most vaccinations will cover only some of them. Vaccination doesn't necessarily guarantee your chicks won't get the disease. Every vaccination causes a chick stress, and I don't think the case for a cocci vaccine is strong enough to warrant putting a chick through that. All of this said, vaccination for cocci is an option. Arm yourself with information and make a decision that you believe is best for your chicks. I believe the best prevention is to keep a clean environment for your chickens and to supplement their diet. Before I go any further, let me say it's easy to get carried away with supplements. Be very careful not to overdo it. Supplements should supplement their food, not replace it. Chickens need to get their main nutrition from their feed. With that clarification, let's review some common supplements you can give your chicks. The first thing I would consider doing is adding electrolytes to your chicks' water. Electrolytes are a multivitamin booster and are relatively inexpensive. They are excellent for treating dehydration and helping to reduce stress. The transporting of chicks can be stressful to them, and if your chicks seem lethargic or anxious, I suggest giving them an electrolyte pack. Be sure to follow the package directions carefully, as you don't want to overdose them. Even though my chicks have never appeared to be stressed when I get them home, I give them electrolytes for the first 5 days, just for good measure. I make a fresh batch each day, dumping out the excess at the end of the day. There are also probiotics. Probiotics are live organisms, good bacteria, that help with digestion, clean out the intestinal tract, and boost the immune system. Just like people, chickens need healthy bacteria in their gut for good digestion. Newborn chicks need time to develop these healthy bacteria, and probiotics can help do that. Lots of people give yogurt to their chicks and their chickens because it's a tasty way to give them probiotics. However, chickens lack the necessary digestive enzymes to process the milk sugars in dairy products, not to mention that the probiotic benefit is relatively minimal. I think it's okay to give yogurt as a treat, but be sure to do so sparingly, and make sure it's plain yogurt, not flavored. If you want your chicks to have probiotics, get some made specifically for poultry. I think giving it to them for just their first week of life should be sufficient. Whereas I routinely give my chicks electrolytes when I first bring them home, I do not give them probiotics. If I was concerned that they had been exposed to an unhealthy environment prior to me getting them, I certainly would give them probiotics. Another great supplement to have on hand is NutriDrench. I don't often recommend a specific product, but this one is exceptional. NutriDrench is a power pack of glucose, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids that support all of your chicks' organ systems. It can be used as an instant pick-me-up for a chick or an adult chicken that is weak or lethargic, is overheated, or has no appetite. It has a rapid delivery formulation and is measurable in the bloodstream within 10 minutes. If you have a chicken that is clearly in distress, you can give NutriDrench directly to the mouth. Be sure to follow the instructions on the packaging. You should see results pretty quickly. For general use, however, you will mix it into your chick's water with a ratio of 1 part NutriDrench to 32 parts water. Discard unused solution at the end of the day. If your chicks come to you in the mail, it is likely that they have been without nutrition for at least 2 days. And as I've already mentioned, shipping causes stress, and stress can lead to health problems. For these reasons, if your chicks are being shipped to you, I would definitely give them Nutri-Drench. You might add it to their water for the first week, then keep the rest of the bottle on hand for emergencies. Some people make Nutri-Drench part of their flock's daily diet, and that is certainly an option. However, prolonged use may lead to diarrhea. Be sure to always follow the dosage guidelines from the manufacturer. I am a big proponent of giving chickens a varied diet that contains garlic, herbs, and greens. I will discuss these in greater detail in the adult health part of this training, but for now, let me share just a few thoughts regarding chicks. It's best to introduce garlic to your flock early in life so they get used to the taste. Crush up a little and give it to your chicks a couple times a week. You can also give them most culinary herbs. These should be fresh, such as oregano, cilantro, and basil. If you have dandelion in your yard, clip some and toss it into your brooder. Be sure not to overdo it. Use greens in moderation until your girls are at least 4 weeks of age. With my first brood, once my chicks were a couple of weeks old, and after I stopped giving them the electrolytes, I supplemented their water with apple cider vinegar, commonly referred to as ACV. I did this because I read how ACV helps with a chick's digestion, boosts the immune system, and helps rid them of parasites and promotes overall good health. Lots of articles on the internet sing the praises of ACV. However, as I continued to research ACV, I could not find any studies that validate these health benefits. So, whereas ACV won't hurt your chicks, I've not found evidence that it will help them either. I would not consider it a priority supplement. That said, if you want to use ACV, try to get the unfiltered kind that has the mother in it. Add 1 tablespoon per gallon of water. Don't use a metal waterer, as the ACV will cause the container to rust. By the way, my girls liked ACV as chicks, but once they got to be adults, they turned their noses up at it. Go figure.